paving the way for September's rate cut scene. Stocks are rallying, bonds are climbing, economy's shifting between. Trump's demanding stakes in companies, activist investors dream. Intel, US Steel and Nvidia caught up in the corporate scheme. Money moves and power plays in these uncertain days. From the Fed to corporate halls, everyone's making calls. The economy's dance goes on from dusk until the dawn. Lisa Cook breaks barriers at the Federal Reserve Board. First black woman facing Trump's attacks, but she won't be ignored. HSBC Swiss bank exits Middle Eastern clients by the score. 1,000 wealthy relationships shown right out the door. Money moves and power plays in these uncertain days. From the Fed to corporate halls, everyone's making calls. The economy's dance goes on from dusk until the dawn. Tariffs promise $4 trillion in revenue for the state. Canada drops retaliation. Trade wars may have to wait. In San Francisco's Glen Park, female hackers innovate. Found her house breaking barriers in the eyes. Male-dominated fate. From central banks to hacker homes, from tariffs to corporate loans, the world keeps spinning round and round while fortunes rise and fall to ground. Money moves and power plays. These are our modern days.
Good morning and welcome to today's news roundup for August 23rd. We've got some fascinating developments across the financial and business world that are shaping our economic landscape. Let's start with the Federal Reserve, where Chair Jerome Powell has essentially given us a green light for what many are expecting to be a rate cut in September. Speaking at Jackson Hole, Powell indicated that economic risks are shifting, and the markets responded enthusiastically. U.S. stocks and bonds both rallied on this news, as investors positioned themselves for what could be a significant monetary policy shift. This comes as inflation has been moving closer to the Fed's 2% target, giving policymakers more room to maneuver. Meanwhile, we're seeing some interesting dynamics in the banking sector. HSBC's Swiss private banking division is making headlines for ending relationships with about 1,000 Middle Eastern clients, many of whom have assets exceeding $100 million. This move is part of a broader risk management strategy, as the bank seeks to lower its exposure to individuals it considers high risk. It's a significant reshuffling that speaks to the changing landscape of international private banking. On the political front, President Trump is taking what some experts are calling an activist investor approach to corporate America. He's demanding government stakes in U.S. companies and cuts of their revenue from major players like Intel, US Steel, and Nvidia. This represents a fascinating shift toward what some are comparing to state-managed capitalism that we see in other parts of the world. It's raising questions about the traditional boundaries between government and private enterprise. Speaking of boundaries being broken, let me tell you about Lisa Cook, who continues to make history as the first black woman to serve on the Federal Reserve Board. Despite facing attacks from Trump, Cook remains a pathbreaker in a field that has long been dominated by white men. Her story is one of perseverance and groundbreaking achievement in the world of economic policy. On the trade front, There's some potentially good news as Canada announces it will drop retaliatory tariffs on billions of dollars worth of U.S. products. Prime Minister Mark Carney is removing the 25% levy on many goods, which could help ease tensions between the neighboring countries. This comes as the Congressional Budget Office estimates that tariff revenue could cut U.S. deficits by $4 trillion, though this projection comes with the usual caveats about economic forecasting. And finally, there's an inspiring story coming out of San Francisco's Glen Park neighborhood, where something called Found Her House is challenging the male-dominated world of artificial intelligence and tech startups. This all-female hacker house is creating a supportive community where women residents can build their startups and break through AI's glass ceiling. It's exactly the kind of innovation and inclusion our tech sector needs more of. These stories paint a picture of an economy and business world in transition, with new players challenging old assumptions and traditional power structures being questioned at every level.